This executive order is for the Ceiling Fan Man show on YouTube on Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Everyone needs to watch it.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Get ready, so get set, so hang on, so buckle up, so sit tight, so strap yourself in, so brace yourself, so keep your eyes open, so fasten your seatbelt, so stick around, so hang on, so get ready. You just have to be ready. Brace yourself. What you're about to see will open your eyes. The surprises never stop, so you better hang on, so get ready, so fasten your seatbelt, so hold on tight, so hang on, so get ready to get ready, and get ready to get real.
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the Fair Use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. I say, moo.
A man goes to a pet store to buy a pet for his mother that's very lonely. The owner of the store says, I have the perfect idea. I've got a chicken here that speaks 5 languages. She'll never get tired talking to him. The man says, okay, fine. He buys the chicken, has it delivered to his mother's house. He waits about a week and he calls her and he says, hey, Mom, what'd you think of the chicken I had sent to you? She said it was delicious. He said, delicious? That chicken spoke 5 languages. She said, well, he should have said something. Right? Wow. Tough crowd.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. Wow. Hey, everybody. Whoop, one more. Wow. Hey, they got 3 tonight. Whoop, whoop, or honk, honk, whatever your choice of words are there. We made it again. Friday night. Pretty amazing. Seems like we were just here, but here we are again. And if you've made it this far, you're on the top side of the grass. Pat yourself on the back, because that's at least one thing you got done right this week. Wouldn't you say? I think so. Is it too early? I haven't even turned my camera on. Am I allowed to? Of course I'm allowed to do whatever I want. That was pretty funny. There we go. Okay. But I should, before I waste any more of your valuable time, I'll turn my camera on so I can be seen by you.
Clickety click.
There it is. Hey, everybody. Let's see. Here's doing all right. This is not pink. It's salmon. And yeah. And so I kind of played around with the studio behind me. It's a spare room. You can see there's a bed there for people sleeping. But yeah, so made it through another week. It was a crazy, wild week here. Very busy. My regular job, my part-time job became full-time. So it makes it way more difficult to race home. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this, but driving. So drive home, not racing. I follow the speed limit signs and to get home in time to put all this together and you don't want to hear all that. But anyways, it is getting more difficult, but it's a pleasure that I could do this. I was actually even able to find time this week, believe it or not. I have a new Sarah video and she is in it again. So that's a blessing. So let me see. Let me get over to where you all are. Oh, God bless you, Jamie. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I do appreciate everybody that writes me comments or email. I really do like snail mail if anybody ever does that. I had some people that used to send me postcards all the time, and it's kind of quieted down, but people get busy, especially in the summertime. And so, but I do appreciate all, and the monetary definitely helps keep the lights on and keeping this thing going. And so there is a link there. There's also Cash App. You can do Super Chat. And don't forget, one way that you can support the show, and you can smell clean too, that would be clickety click. My wife's soap store. She makes natural soaps here, and they're really good. You'll love them, and it's a quick little way to support the show. I mean, we're not here. We're not like the big channels. This is just like little pocket money. I could take her out to dinner kind of money, because it's $7, and then I have to pay all the different companies and whoever, PayPal and whoever makes his website and blah blah blah. But it's fun. She really is good at it, and it's a way that you can interact too that way. So thank you very much for everybody that's done that or is planning on doing it. Okay. That is a commercial for that. I am in charge of marketing and also the shipping department. So I have to make sure that I get that there. And I'm going to put in the chat. I'm going to see it. There it is. But probably Trisha Clark already put it. Yeah, see, she already did. Anyway, thanks, Trish. Okay. But yeah, so thank you very much for anybody that feels that they like to support us that way. And if nothing else, it helps the channel out if you hit the like button. It's free. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Hit it. And if you want to share some stuff out, go share it out and subscribe, of course. That always helps. So. And I thank you to all the members. And there's still some Patreon people. I mean, they go way back. I mean, I started doing this. I don't know. What is it? I can't even remember anymore. You can look it up. But 5 years? Has it been more than 5 years? You down there? Around? I don't know. I never know where she's watching the show. Sometimes she's right down there, the Silent Wife. And if you're wondering why I call her that, I filmed the thing one time and I shot our bookshelf. Like, see those books behind me? And of course, everybody that has books behind has read every single book that's behind them. Just know that. It makes them seem smarter, right? Of course, then I put polar bears that I brought back from Antarctica. Don't tell anyone. And then I got like some Star Wars things and all weirdness going on. But amongst the bookshelves, my camera accidentally zeroed in. Oh, you can't see it. There we go. It's called The Silent Wife. Here, I'll move it over here. No, I'll move it over here. There. Isn't that funny? So it just kind of fit because she didn't ever really, wow, my English teacher would hate me right now. She never really wanted to, and still doesn't want to be like a part of the show, but I slowly kind of, I boiled the frog slowly, and she didn't realize she has become such an integral part of the show. So, I don't know what I have. That's what I do. How about that?
True. Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So how's everyone tonight? Everyone! Like, oh, is this guy just play buttons all night? Yeah.
That's very true.
I'm known for two things, or multiple things, I'd say. I'm known for my tabs. Of course, I have many tabs again tonight. Here, you want to preview, you can see. Clickety click here. Let's see that one. So I've had more, but not bad, not too bad. So, and then of course I'm known for all these drops.
I don't care.
The funniest thing I feel is if you look back of my body of work, as they say, I have researched and looked up so many subjects in the last, say, 7 years. And I have some really good research out there on some of my older shows. A lot of them I had to pull down because YouTube kept changing what they're allowed. But I slowly go back through all that old material and even like entered into these shows. I have entire shows about Einstein and what's the guy, the Bill no, not Bill Hawking. What is it? Hawking's. Stephen Hawking's Mandela effect. Does he have an S? Does he not? Well, who cares? But in any case, I went through whole shows of those guys. I went through the beginning of medicine that comes out of an ejectable tube. I'm always trying to find new ways of saying things to skate around in YouTube land. But I've done whole shows on that. But again, there's a lot of this stuff that I had to like wipe out and just kind of revamp and stuff. So, but yeah, so that's where we're at. Oh, and my jokes. Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah. And somebody did notice that was an older one. I had to find another joke that I didn't have time to like come up with a new one. So I found an old joke. And anyways, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Of course, I said it. So what am I going to say? It's my stream. I have to talk like that. I keep thinking my hair's flying out, but that's the ceiling fan behind me. And for people that are brand new to me, that's the Mariner 9 flying around Mars. You can look it up. The picture's still online. And what they forgot to do, is it in this? Let's see. It's hard to tell. Yeah, there it is. That's the light chain, right? So you can see stars at night. That's what that is. So, all right. Where are we at? Boy, the camera bad's about 10 pounds, and so does the good eating, I guess. All right. Where are we at? Oh, my goodness. Connor's in here. Let's see. Let me kind of get over that. I'll go over here. God bless you. Yeah, I do appreciate. And man, I've been watching your streams, and the thing about yours, of course, mine are similar, but I do show pictures and videos and stuff. But this dude, I watch his shows, and you put him on in the background. You can do other things, and he says some really, I believe, really interesting stuff. And he's based in God, and so good to see you, Connor. So, and you don't have to believe as I believe. Again, that's not me. I was put in place here in front of this particular screen to not only go over and try to wake people up of the lies of the world that have been happening to them, to do it in addition to let them know that I truly understand. I don't even want to say believe anymore. I understand where I live, and I present that information along with the existence of God. I present all that, and I do it with comedy. And so if you had to say, what is this show about? That's pretty much it. And I do a lot of research throughout the week. It takes about a week to do a few hours. And I always try to make sure I do a couple hours. I feel if you've invested the time to come here, I want to at least do that for you. So that's my thought process and how the show connects.
That makes no sense.
Well, I thought it did. And the humor is also self-deprecating, just so you know. I think that's the word. Is that the word? I hope so. Right, okay, it's enough of that. Let's get into a little bit of the show here. And let's see. Where should we go here? We'll go here. And don't forget, I made that Sarah video, so we're going to have to watch that. Here we go. Okay. What do we start with? Oh, this one is just because, well, you explained it. The caption on this was, I think my rooster is broken. Here we go. I mean, that's the other thing I'm known for. Chicken discussions. I actually have a song, Chicken Talk, that I play. Anyways, so we do talk about chickens and things. But this guy, I truly agree. I think his rooster's broken. Okay. Now, isn't that, I would think so, right? It kind of reminds me of those things that you had, the rubber ones, that if you sat on it, they kind of just made, but not even that long of a noise. So, yeah, pretty funny. I think pretty funny. So, yes, I think my rooster is broken. Let's see. And then, the other part of, there's no sound. Oh, Jenny, how was there no sound? No sound. Silent rooster. So I'm just over here laughing on my own. All right. We're going to figure this out. There's got to be a way that I can share that and you can hear the sound. So let's figure this out together. What, did you just start? This is your first day? No. Oh, gosh. Okay. Sharing screen. Let's try. Tell me if you hear sound. Any sound? Oh, wait. Oh, that's why you thought the rooster was broken, because there's no sound. See, that's funny too. That's hilarious. Better to depreciate than to defecate. Thank you. Thank you, Fence Guy. That was well worth the $2. I appreciate that joke. Hey, 16 Alpha. Okay, did anybody say the sound? Okay, 5 by 5. I got it. Jenny and Joy says, yep. And I hear a bird, says Groot. Fantastic. Okay, so we'll fix that in post edit. We're going to try this again. This guy says that he thinks his rooster's broken, and I'm agreeing. Here we go. It'll be way funnier for you this time, trust me, because I probably looked like. Anyways, here we go. And that's funny. Okay, way funnier that. Okay, thank you, Jamie. That's way funnier. Now you understand why I was laughing at this thing. Yeah, is the rooster evolving? Maybe, Marcus. That could very well be. He got lightheaded. So there's your honk honk, Connor. Yeah, there's your honk honk. Well, I don't know. I found that hilarious. I usually don't just throw these stupid things in the chat, but here you go in case anybody wants to find that rooster thing. I just found it hilarious, and I'll toss it over on Rumble because you're over there patiently. Few of you, so, and I think Rockfit is just me, but I'll put it in there anyways because we are on all 3 platforms. We are on Rumble, we are on Rockfish, and we are on YouTube, of course. So, all right, let's get back into it. All right, so that's pretty good, right? So, let's see. Okay. What did I miss here? Yes, you're right, Miles. Miles reminded people dinosaurs turned into chickens. I actually had that discussion. I don't know, were you here the other time when I was talking about? Look, if you weren't here, go back and if you might do it. I'm sorry. Go back on the show's called Evolution, and man, that was a fun research, quote unquote, to do. And part of it is here. Let me get out of the screen share and talk to you all. Part of what made it so fun was just like it's like when what they say, break the matrix. And so there's certain things we were taught just almost from birth, but say at least when we started indoctrination camp, school. And so you're like 5 and you're in kindergarten, and it's mostly just, daycare. But they make sure that already they have the globe to tell you where you live, and can I get more coffee when you can? And for here in America, they had the American flag, and they forced you. They taught you that you have to like submit to it, right? What is it though? My coffee's coming. They you had to pledge your allegiance to it. And I'm not anti-American, and that's not it. The fact that, thank you, Annie. The fact that God says not to pledge any allegiances, and the world says to you the first thing is you live on a ball and pledge allegiance to this cloth and these colors, because that's what you're doing. And when then you find out years later that the United States of America is a corporation, so now you've pledged allegiance to the corporation. I guess you're an employee, but you don't get paid, or if you do, they take 60% or better. And so you're kind of what they would call slave labor. In fact, if it was happening, we'd have all the people that want to protest everything out there protesting that maybe they already do this. I don't know. There's so many protests now. That's one of these tabs. It's right here. Where is it? It's where'd it go? I'll find it. It's pretty great because it's part of the whole theater that we deal with. And I brought this up last week, I think it was, and I said that has a protest ever accomplished anything? And somebody said, okay, it's that tab. I'll just move it way over here. Somebody said, I think it was Kent State. And again, maybe I'm not here to say they've never helped anything, but it seems like if you're being controlled or oppressed by someone and you protest about it, I don't see the incentive for them to do anything about it. And so what they do is they placate you and say, we're going to get rid of taxes. And everyone goes, yay, should I pay my income this year or not? Da, 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 da. And then nothing ever happens, right? And then it comes out and he says, hey, we're going to check Fort Knox with me and my dog, and we're going to go in there and look at the gold. And then nothing ever happens. But they say we have the memory of a fish now, or whatever, like 8 seconds, and I totally believe it. I mean, especially in this show, happens a lot where I forget what I'm talking about. And all these things that they're, we're going to build a wall, yay, and we're still building it, and she's going to go to jail, and yay, and no, she's still out of Barnes and Noble signing books, and so it's like, at some point you wake up and you go, wow, nothing really changes. It doesn't matter what political puppet is in the office. The agenda, whatever it is, just keeps rolling right along, and that's good cop, bad cop. Sometimes your taxes are higher, sometimes they're lower. And sometimes it just depends which team you want, red team, blue team. We've talked about it many times on this show. They all work together. They all hang out together. They go to their parties, including those white parties with Diddy that nobody wants to admit they did. So they're all the same group, and some of them portray actors and some of them portray musicians. And it's not like they're not talented at what they do. That's why they do what they do. Like, if you're going to hire someone to do like this mass kind of hypnosis over a populace, you're going to hire someone that can do it well, right? I mean, but there's also a weirdness to this whole realm, because since we have free will, we all can agree on that. Even if people don't agree in God-given free will, we have it. And so the only way that Satan can deceive us, because this is where we're in the season of deception, and the only way he can do that is with our consent. And so if we see something or hear something and our mind says that doesn't sound right, but we go ahead and accept it anyways, that's your consent, and then they can do what they want. So that's why sometimes they have certain events. Well, I mean, people call them false flags, but they have these events, and then they'll interview people. Like when a certain thing happened in September a long time ago, and one of the guys that they interview was a fireman that came out of there, and God bless him, I'm so happy he made it. And his outfit was just miraculously white, and it's pretty incredible that he got through all of that and got no soot or anything. There's some amazing stories in that event. And so they'll have these weird interviews with people that make you question it. Like, look up the name Robbie Parker and try to find the original interview when he first walks out. It's an interesting one there too. And so the only way that Satan can then deceive us, because that's what it says in the Bible, he goes out and deceives us. He deceives the whole world, even the elect, is because we allow it. And so the beautiful thing is, even if you're not feeling the way I do as far as the existence of God, the fact is you have God-given free will, and God woke you up, opened your eyes, as they say, to see it from the other side, because it's all about perspective. If I was to hold this up, you see a bunch of corks that were put into this coffee stand thing, whatever I use. But I'm not looking at any corks. I just see that. And so it's about perspective. And so you were looking at the world this way, and God opened your eyes, and now you see it that way. And it's a pretty amazing thing. And so that's what this show is about. I'm here to at the end of the day, basically help you understand the existence of God and why it's important. And it's not a religious show. I don't believe in religion. I have yet to find a religion that I agree with everything or most everything that they're even talking about. Oh, what is this? Thank you very much. I don't have any gold back So here's some fiat. Thank you. Yeah, even the fiats, there's no gold back on it anymore. You're right. Absolutely. Okay, well, hey, I'm getting there. Is he in the chat too? Yeah. I'll look for it. Okay. And Fence Guy also, yes, Christ is a King of kings and Lord of lords. Absolutely. And I can explain that to you, but I can't learn it for you. And better to depreciate. Yeah, we got that one. Okay. So we got those. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Where was I? Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. That's the thing. There's no there's no safety net anymore. Gold goes up and down like ridiculous prices in an hour. Used to be years ago, gold would move, $5-10 over, maybe of course a few years or so. And now it goes up and down like a yo-yo. It's crazy. And so then you say, well, the money, if the banks fail or whatever again, that's worth nothing. Okay, so we get that. So then what do? Well, the only two things, if you did have any way of doing any savings, because most of us are, I went back to work full time because I need to make money to live here. That's it. And so, but I don't see it as like my goal. My goal is to use it as a tool. Like when I use my hammer to fix a fence, I'm not in love with the hammer. I'm just using it because I needed that fence fixed. And so it's the same thing. So the only things that I see still have any value is property, land, if there's any available cheap or whatever. But that's another thing people are having trouble finding. Everything keeps going up in that too. And the other thing would be, what's the other thing? Well, family and food, of course. But I hope I put those in the right order. And what else? Property is really the only place, because eventually, if you get through the Bible, and eventually it says that they'll throw gold and silver and there'll still be no value, because if you're starving, gold and silver is not going to do much for you. And the problem I have with the cryptos is when I was growing up, we had the stock market, and if you could have gambling money, you'd do that. But they had certain hours. They were open and then they were closed. And then as I got older, those companies, if they were big enough, they could go in before hours or after hours. And so now they could play around where you couldn't. And now the next generation, like my children, the crypto. And the thing is crypto never closes. So it's on all the time. You could go to bed with $1,000 in your account, and you could wake up the next morning with nothing. You know what I mean? And it's, or you could have doubled. I don't know, but that stuff is so volatile. And I understand fiat currency is not based on anything, so it's valueless, right? But at least it's a physical thing, because let's say you had money in crypto and there's no internet, you can't access it, or there's no power, you can't access it. So at least the fiat currency, if you had it, you could, it's in your hand. But then most people don't do that anymore either. They go off of debit cards and stuff. And so it's just numbers on the screen again. So I'm not a financial advisor, definitely. Here, I'll throw this on there. But I don't know. All I can say is if you have a roof over your head and food in your stomach, and you have a third blessing, even would be someone that cares about you or family, then you're a rich man. That's the way I see it. I know it sounds hokey, but it's the truth, because everything else, blows away like dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Okay. Where are we at here? Okay. All right, let me get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so we covered the rooster, which I think is really funny. And this is what we were talking about. What's the next thing to talk about? So 2 months ago, we had Ukraine flags everywhere. A month ago, we had Palestinian flags. A week ago, we had Mexican flags. And now we have Iranian flags. And so to me, I think the only person that's actually prospering in this is the flag makers, right? I mean, but you'd have to be really quick, and you'd have to be able to produce the proper flag that's needed at the right time. Because otherwise you're going to have to like have a huge stockpile of weird flags, and that could get you in trouble. Plus it's a lot of inventory to hang on to. So, and I don't know what's happening. Does anyone else feel like we stepped back in time into the year 2020? What is going on here again? Oh, you go Volt. Uh-oh. My hair just came out. Shh, don't tell anyone. But look at this. Look at that. Interesting. Now, some people apparently, look, that's really funny, that one. Some people apparently do it, for privacy. I get it. You could always say that. But then again, who's winning and who's losing? Because if you're doing this for privacy, nobody knows that. That's in your mind. So to the viewer that's watching this, they think that you're playing reindeer games again. So interesting. You think you're winning and you're still losing. But that's part of the whole thing. Like I said, the free will and all that. You just have to understand or believe in God enough to know that your eyes were open for a reason. There's no accidents. We're not here by accident. There's no coincidences. He's in charge of it all. And, why is God doing this to me and doing that to me? He's not. He allows things to happen. Why? Because we're all children in rebellion. We've forgotten his existence. It's not new. There's nothing new under the sun. Of course, that's been changed. There's no new thing under the sun. Look it up in your Bible. But throughout history, going all the way back to the Bible, every time God saved us, and not just the special children, we all come from the same heritage. It's just they make you confused about that too, what a country is and what a people are and things like that. But throughout history, God would rescue us, and then we'd forget about him, and then we'd get enslaved, and then we'd forget about, he'd rescue us. I threw one in there. And then we'd forget about him and repeat. And that's what's still happening to this day. So God allows us to step outside his control, not his control, his comforting, his shielding. God allows this to happen, right? Because God will say, hey, I want you to, keep going this way. And we go, yeah, but I want to go over here and check out what's going on over there. And he's like, all right, I'll let you go. And he lets go, and we go off on our own, and then the devil messes with us. So why does he allow that? Well, if he just did everything for us, then there is no free will. And that would be a terrible existence. But he gave us life. That's like the most amazing gift. And he gave us a way out of the world that we're in now too. So a second life, eternal life. But in addition to that, he gave us all the tools that we need to be self-sustaining, to be healthy if we can, if we wanted to. I mean, every one of us makes choices. And the fact that he just let us decide for ourselves. And the correct understanding, as I've come to figure out, is that this is all just to make us a better person, to cleanse us so we can go home. And it's an amazing plan. And how do you clean gold? You heat it. How do you, same thing with iron, what do you call it? Sharpens iron, all that stuff. Throw all those, any one of those you want in there, but it's all the same idea. We're here. We're given the tools to figure it out and live a correct life. And we're also given the tools to spread that, share that joy that we're feeling. And then the promise of coming home. And he does that by cleansing us. Just like, you can read all the stories in the Bible that discuss that. And I've always said, you don't have to read the Bible to find God. As my Jewish side would say, but it couldn't hoit. Because the information in there, to me, is so amazing. The history, the stories are as good as anything you'd see on televised vision or movies or reading a book, because most of it's plagiarized. Just talk to the birds about turn, turn, turn. But in any case, I digress. So you don't need that book, but it definitely helps. And it'll show you, it helps you get through the times that we're in. There's a lot of comfort in there. And it gives you an idea of what is expecting to come. And I understand there's people that say, well, wait a minute, you said we're after Revelation. Yes, that's where I believe we are. I think Revelation happened as Jesus said it would right away. Then we had the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Then Satan is let loose for, if I could find it, for a little season.
Sorry. Pizza.
What's that? Hang on. What happened? Oh, I didn't get there yet. Thank you. Hey, Matt Pax, thank you. God bless you. Small amount of love for a bucket load of joy. God bless you. Thank you. Okay. Where were we? I forgot. That's all right. We'll get back there. I think I don't know, I'll cut out for a little bit. We'll come back to that later. And then maybe we'll bring some more people on board. People kind of like zone out, tune out when they too much God. Okay. Or not enough. Yeah. I think we lost like 10 people there. Oh, he's talking about God again. Where are you going to go? Seriously. Where is it? Where's the guy?
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
All right. Enough of that. Let's get back into the show. Okay. We covered this one? Oh, yeah, we just did that one. Let's get rid of this. See, I think the flag makers are the ones making all the money right now, but what do I know? And, you know, the clown show goes on. Now glass, I can't even read it. Glass bottles now contain more microplastics than plastic bottles. Does that even make any sense? Yeah, I'm sure if you ask Grok, because that's what everyone does now, he could explain it to you. But can we just take a moment, a pause, and go, that sounds stupid. I'd say another word, but you're not allowed to say that one anymore. But am I right? 60 alpha, yeah, right? Yeah. So, all right. Where are we at? That is silly. Thank you. It makes no sense, my silent way. Look at this one. A 15-foot military spy dome. Don't you miss the good old days when it was just like a Chinese spy balloon? Now we got Truman Show going on with metal things falling out of the sky. This is called, and the weird thing is, okay, so it crashes into this neighborhood in India. Again, I'm doing this allegedly, supposedly, okay? Because all I'm looking at is a picture, a photograph. We don't even know the context. Maybe they had a truck come in and drop this off, and then they took a picture of it. Who knows? Where's the eyewitness? And even if they had one on televised vision, they could have paid them to say it. So let's just say we have no idea this actually happened. So, but this whole show, I discuss things that they say is happening so we can get a better understanding of what's going on around us. So this thing falls out of the sky. I swear if I was able to zoom in more of that, doesn't that almost look like the Masonic symbol there, Jeannie? Do you see that thing? Can you see it? If I can make this any bigger. That's what she said. Let's see. No. I can't. Maybe I could do it this way. Ooh. Forget that. No. But sure looks that way. So, okay, enough of that. How do we get back into this article? So, yeah, this thing supposedly fell out of the sky. And this person is saying it's called a rad dome. It came from V2X, a Pentagon contractor. Again, who knows who wrote this? This could be the guy down the street from me that never leaves his house. He could have wrote all this. Who knows? But they all admit or agree that this thing fell. And it's so reminiscent of the Truman Show when the satellite falls out of the sky. And then, of course, readers added context. which this will probably go away soon because now it's just grok, right? It's not a spy dome. It's a weather protecting dome for radar known as a radome. Anyways, so they're agreeing what it's called. We're just now fighting over what it actually does. But, this is readers, and this is a different reader. Where's Grok? He's got to tell us what it is. No? Oh, that's what it is. I should have scrolled farther down. Well, there you go. We figured it out. See? We figured it out on the Ceiling Fan Man show. That's what fell out of the sky. Yeah, way. Fantastic. So there it is. Yep. Okay. Another one solved. Put that in the win column. Okay. But regardless, if it is, say, just radar or whatever, we're supposed to believe this thing fell out of the sky. Does it say how much it weighs? I should read up on how much it weighs. But it's definitely, I know they say it's filled with fiberglass, but it's definitely got metal to it, falling from a crazy height, right? How high was this thing supposed to be? There's no destruction on the street at all. It didn't damage the curb, didn't damage, there's no scrape marks. It fell straight down and stuck the landing. Didn't roll over there. If it rolled, then where? I don't see any evidence. The lawn looks perfectly mowed too, Am I alone with this? But it stuck the landing. Dang, if that was the Olympics, that thing would have won, right? A balloon? Yeah, who knows what? They say it's supposed to be like metal or something. Aliens? I don't know. Softer landing than the Bezos rocket, we'll say. How about that? But yeah, how was it even bolted on? What was it bolted on? Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's so bizarre. So, all right. So there we go. Giant balls falling from space. That's what we should call it. Okay. Have fun with that, chat. What is this one? Oh, they're remaking the Wizard of Oz. I think they're making a sequel. Is that nuts? That whole lady's house just took off. That's wild. We're having some crazy weather. And they came back down, I guess. But is Dorothy under it? Let's see. How do you explain that one? If you get insurance payouts anymore, how do you explain that one? That thing's nuts. So, yeah, weather manipulation or climate change, you decide. Just saying. I hope there wasn't. I don't know. You know what? You get a good audio of it. At least I did. I didn't hear any screaming. So that's a plus. So hopefully everyone's fine. So what does it say, 76-year-old what? Where? Oh, unharmed. There we go. Woohoo. Yay. That's something else. Man. DARPA. Yeah. And if you look at, there's some of these ships that are off the shores and they have those exact radar balls on them. Just saying, it's pretty wild. But they're not the only ones experiencing this crazy weather. Oh, wait, we got to come back to that one. Where's the other weather one? Yeah, here we go. This was Lake Tahoe. And we're talking, this is June. It's almost July. And they had a freak storm. What day was this? I'm trying to remember, a couple days back. The 23rd. They had a freak storm out of nowhere. Nobody predicted it, of course. Snow, hail, 10-foot waves, and hurricane force winds. People died in this, and some people were missing. And the boats, they were crashing into each other. This is Lake Tahoe. This stuff doesn't happen, especially, you don't get snow and hail in July or, the end of June. But yeah, I think they were showing some of these huge yachts. If you could see, there's a boat that came crashing. It's in some building behind this too or something. It's nuts. Just some crazy weather going on. And, and keep all these people in your heart, thoughts and prayers. They mean a lot. And whatever you're going through, there's most likely, I can almost guarantee there's someone going through something worse. And so, just we're all one people. That's why another reason I'm not a pro rapture guy, because whatever the rapture is, I believe it already happened. But if it didn't, God knows my heart. He knows when I say this. I don't want to be taken out right when I'm needed the most. If my family, my loved ones, my friends, my neighbor, if they're going to have to go through that, why would I want to leave? I'd want to be there to help them, right? Because that's why God put us here. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love God, love yourself, and love thy neighbor. And so when you do that, Jesus even says you're doing the teachings. And so I don't want to get out of here. And we're at the 10-yard line, and the fans are going crazy, and there's like 2 minutes left in the game, and we have no timeouts. I don't want to. God knows I mean it. Keep me here. I know he'll be with me no matter what happens, but I'm supposed to be here to help others through this. I know that. There's no other reason. That's the whole reason I'm doing this show. So keep them in your prayers. Then look at this. It's a spinning wheel. What that means is, it means that there's a slow interconnection, or this particular video is no longer allowed to be played. And so this will go on for quite some time, and eventually you'll click and see if you can reset it and pause it or nothing, and then you'll move on. Shoot. So if you were able to see this in China, see if there's another one of these. They're having this crazy flooding, or they just did. I can't find it. They've blocked it in this country. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. They had some monsoons that went through and ripped through. And, the visuals on this are incredible. You actually have never seen a video as amazing as this video is. And you still won't, because we're moving on. I'll keep the tab and we'll come back and check on it. How about that? Meanwhile, I'd rather know this. I like this guy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's what we always say, even when we are. But that's the sun going down in the west by the ocean. So this is in Phoenix. This was this week at about 7.
Yeah, conspiracy theorist, but that is the sun going down over there. Am I correct about that? Now look at this. Directly behind me. What is that? I'm not a flat earther by any means, but that and that can't both be the sun. So what the hell is happening? There's nothing moving behind those clouds. It's just a big bright ball. And then that's the sun going down in the west by the ocean. So what the fuck?
Sorry about the curse at the end, but yeah, isn't that something? Oh goodness. All right. I just stopped for a second. I gotta thank Wendy. Not too much, God. I agree with you. But sometimes the audience, they tune out. And I want to make sure I get as many people in here, and we'll do it with the comedy show, and then we'll sneak in God here and there and see. But yeah, thank you. God bless you. Wow. I don't know what to say about that, Jeannie. You see that? That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Okay, let me go on. Where are we? Let's see. Oh, we covered that. Okay, let me get back in the screen share. Oh, and did y'all like my new little thing I made? And no one got hurt. It's all fake, just so you know. But I took one video and connected the other, and to me, comedy gold.
Satellite tracking continues.
I don't know. What? No one got hurt. It's all fake. My goodness. Calm down there. I don't know. It's only 27 seconds long. You can't hate it too much. It's only 27 seconds. You've lost 30 seconds of your life, and that's it.
That's very true.
Everyone just calm down. Oh, shoot. Is it? Oh, you know what? Oh, my God. See, now you're talking to just like two people in the audience, and I happen to be one of them. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come on. Where were you? Here it is. Joy, you got it. Yeah, like Taunces, the driving. That was an old Saturday Night Live bit, right? I don't even remember what years that was, but yeah, I remember. I think that's what that was. Toonces. So, but see, you're like me. You can talk about something that maybe like two people even know what we're talking about. I guarantee my wife doesn't know what I'm talking about right now. And doesn't care either. That's the funny thing. So yeah. Okay. Where are we at here? All right. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go to here. Clickety click. Let's go back into this. And do that and that. Clickety click. Share audio. Don't forget that. Okay, what do we have? Oh, this thing. This thing's wild. Did we do all the weather though? I want to keep all that together. Yeah, we did. This thing's wild. Coming soon to a theater near you. Cops now have a way of shooting a thing out. You know, I actually think as a kid, I almost invented this because I wanted to have a way if someone cut in front of my parents' car and I had those we had those guns that had the sticker at the end, you know. I don't know what they call it, but you know, it's a fake bullet. It comes out with this. What are those called, anyways? And so I thought you could like shoot one of those onto someone's bumper and it would stick and it would say like stupid on it or something. But I'm sure that would break a lot of laws and they probably wouldn't even work. So, but guess what? Two things. This one works and the cops, they're allowed to break all the laws. So here we go. Coming soon to a theater near you. Look at that. Like right out of James Bond. You guys seeing this? They shoot a tracking device on the back of your car. So that way, if they want to know where you are, like they're saying it's for like high speed chases, which, okay, I'd rather them do this and then pull off rather than like go at, you got one car going on 90 miles an hour and then you got three cop cars doing the same thing. So the odds of hurting someone is exponentially more. So I get that, but they also can use it whenever they want. They just Isn't that something? Did y'all see that before? That's something. Yeah, rules for me, not for rules for thee also. Yeah. Yeah. And of course it's in Texas, right? But I don't know. Had y'all seen that one? That one was new to me. I was like, whoa, that's some pretty crazy stuff they got. So, yeah. Your truck dumps oil out the back like James Bond. That's fantastic. But does it do it when you want it to do it, or does it just do it in that whenever it wants? So, isn't this thing wild? So, yeah, it shoots out and sticks to the back of your car. And it's got some kind of like gummy thing, I guess. See, that's where I was a kid and I wasn't thinking straight. I was thinking like suction cups that come out of guns. I wasn't thinking like some kind of like really strong, what do you call that? Adhesive. So there you go. That's pretty cool. It's either pretty cool or terrifying or both. Okay. And I complain to my wife all the time. This is when we were growing up, there was a thing called summer repeat because the companies would only do TV shows for certain times of the year. And during the summer break, when everyone was used to be going outside and going to the beach or whatever, you go on vacation, nobody really was at home watching TV. And so that's why they called it the summer reruns, summer break, whatever. And we're having it now with our real news, right? Because this isn't what was that, January 6th when they stormed the castle? No, they're doing it again. Well, it's the other side storming the castle now, and they're protesting, and I really take offense to the name, Big Beautiful Bill. They're protesting that bill that was signed, the one that, remember, that Elon and Trump got in a fight over, but it was only for it was like a special 2-part episode, right? That's what they used to do. Tonight is special episode, and it would be like 2-parter, and that's what we had. So it was like the Trump Elon fight over the Big Beautiful Bill, and then they made up because he said he'd pull out his funding, when none of that's real, because they do what they want and they all hang out together, and they were both put there. So, but for us, for the entertaining audience at home, so now the opposite side, the one that wanted everyone arrested when the red hat people or the guy with the horns took over the Capitol, now they're taking over the Capitol for their protest.
That scene playing out moments ago, demonstrators protesting.
So there you go. You've got, so now, are we asking for, like they were asking, what, life in prison for these people, or execution? Now they're the ones doing, it's all theater. And unfortunately, it's also real in an aspect that real people can get caught up into this theater. And what happens? Real consequences. Because there again, it's the choices that we make. So, and the devil's like a roaring lion just walking around waiting to pounce. God says it better, but it's pretty much that. And so all of our choices, everything we do during the day, there's always a chance we get tripped up. So you have to be vigilant and sober. Now, to me, this is a great protest. All they did was put a blanket over it and change the entire meaning of the statue. See, that's, I think, how you protest, right? Right, Connor? Hit the like button. He says, smash it, please. Yes, thank you. But yeah, that's, to me, this is a great protest because it was creative, it was funny, and it actually didn't damage anything. Just the viewer's eyeballs, I guess, for a short period of time. So, okay. Where are we at here? Okay, let's get off of this picture. What's next? China's still spinning. All right. Well, you'll have to find that on your own because I'm not wasting any more airtime nor memory space because you see, I got a lot of tabs to get through. So just pray for them too. And that one is pretty cool. Okay. Oh, I've talked about this many a times. And I don't know if you can see behind me this shirt that was sent to me by Shapu. It's about pigeons. We can have a whole discussion on pigeons another night too. So, oh my gosh, I just saw Rose said something. I have to, no, thank you. You're reminding me, Rose, because she, well, hang on. Well, let me finish this conversation. Thank you, Rose. I'm gonna talk about this. But I've had many times on this show where I've discussed drones and real things that they've actually told us about. And I thought it's funny because we're all worried about what's going on in the Middle East. It's almost like we forgot about China and how we hate, we were supposed to hate them. Wait, first we were supposed to hate North Korea and then China. And then we moved to the Middle East. Of course, we've always had problems in the Middle East. They just kind of switch around, but don't forget, in space and Antarctica, we're all friends. We get along. It's just everywhere else where you can't get along. But meanwhile, China they're showing you look at it. It's a mosquito drone. And I guarantee you, whatever this is like the old iPhone or whatever. This is like version 2.1, maybe 2.0. And they're at version like this. Thank you. I love you. This is the BlackBerry of drones. That is a great reference. That's what this is. And so whatever they're doing now, it probably looks exactly like a mosquito. We're probably close to the Terminator 2 technology where it's like liquid metal. if we haven't already gotten there. But anyways, isn't that wild? They're like letting you know, slowly letting you know, it's rumored to be capable of producing 1 million units a month because, like the rest of the world, we're fighting out as slave labor. So, and if that's not enough to make you like think, all right, there's some shenanigans going on here. Look at the picture they have of. I mean, doesn't that guy look like? I don't know. It just looks like he's laughing at a joke that you don't know. You know what I mean? That's what I see there. So, okay. Oh, and real quick before we get off the tabs, for the people that are still playing along with Q, and if you are, please, I beg you, please stop and stop because it's not happening. They've been talking about it since I grew up in this business for the last like 7 years. The same people, right? The same people that are going to jail are already dead, and then they were in Gitmo, and then they're dead, and now there's a clone or a zombie, a robot, or just stop. Okay, there's no man going to save you. It's only through Jesus you're saved, and God has your back. If you know who he is, don't worry about it. But the fact is that the Q people, here's the latest. What if they never left? So now, I don't know if you had it on your bingo cards. Like they've talked about it all the time that this guy's, was it JFK Jr. is Q or whatever, or Steve Bannon, one of these guys. But they've said how this guy's still alive. For a while, he was Victor Fuentes Fuchs, was it? Something like that. I've got a whole video on it. Go watch it. It's called Soap. But after the show, don't watch it now. And yeah, and so, but now they're actually saying that his dad is alive. Of course, I've heard Tupac never died, and Bruce Lee. That was a new one for me. I didn't know they were still questioning him. And then the guy that most people, or at least me, don't even know his name, but I think he was Black Panther. Can't even say it without laughing. He was the Black Panther. So yeah. So there you go. That's what's going on in Q land, in case you still needed to know. So, and I just saw something go up the screen here. So let me look here real quick and see what we got. Thank you, Wendy. God bless you. So some people became members. And and I see Rose got one and DJ. So, and Rock E. Shepherd. It just sounds like a song. I know, it's funny. All right. Wonderful. That's so fun. And Connor got one? My goodness. Fantastic. Okay. Where should we go? Because that's just a random thing. It just throws out to whoever it wants. It's kind of wild. Let's go back into this. And don't let me forget I have my Sarah video. Got to do that. Joe got one? Fantastic. All right. Oh, I know what I was going to do. So let me find it. I got to find it, Rose. I was thinking I'd write it and have it up on the screen, but I never got to it. So we're going to do it this way somewhere here. Clickety click. So this was pretty wild. So I guess I need to give the backstory on this. Let's see. Okay, so the backstory on this goes like this. There's let's see, let me find her. I can't even find you now. Where'd you go? Where's Rose? Yeah, Jeannie was the OG with the Blackberry reference, wasn't she? So fantastic. So this gal, Rose, she works with Jason and Crow with 2 R's, and they've been doing it since they did it before I was around. I was listening to some of their old shows and waking up to things like nuclear weapons and that, watch that too. If you get a chance, go back and watch the original footage of when they told you nuclear weapons, they were testing it, and you see like the house and it gets vaporized and stuff. When you start watching it with new eyes, they're comical. But in any case, so that's the stuff they've been talking about for a long time. And they asked me to do a show, or Crow asked me to do a show with them, because in a past life, I knew pretty much, I mean, I was had a gemologist degree. I knew pretty much everything about stones, crystals, minerals, specifically gemstones, and things like that. And so they asked me to do an episode discussing that, and so I did. And so I did it. It's on, and it's not a commercial, but kind of sounds like one. But the episode's still up on Rose's website, and I think it's crowradio.com, something like that. But she'll put it in there or tell me. And in any case, so someone had asked me, that's right, I talked about this on a show, and someone in the comments asked me where they could listen to it. And so I contacted Rose and I said, where is it? And it's on their site. I think you can listen to it the first hour free, and then it goes on from there. And so she was texting me the information so I could then put it in the comment to the person that asked about it so they could hear it. And she then took and asked, who was the first one? Oh, ChatGPT. She says, I'm going to upload the transcript from the show that I did with Crow with 2 R's. And in ChatGPT, and ask if my episode, the episode I did, is relevant to Google search terms. And so that's the basis for her doing it. So she runs it into ChatGPT and asks if it's relevant to do. And ChatGPT says, yes, episode 546 with Ceiling Fan Man, Richard. Now right, Chat knew my name, so that was interesting. And because I don't have ChatGPT on my phone, I don't. And so yes, it's a strong candidate for YouTube streaming in terms of both safety and SEO appeal. Now, I don't know what SEO is. Maybe if you're there, Rosanna, you can say what it is, but I don't know what that is. But it said I was safe. And yeah, all right, Connor. All right, yes. You got something to say? What are you going to say? I can't help it. My family was first in, what do you call it? Produce. Back in the day, like great grandfather kind of day. And then eventually we ended up in the jewelry industry. And that's how I learned all the stuff that I did. And so I always make the joke that we went from carrots to carrots, huh? So, yeah. But again, that was in a past life. I haven't done that in years, like almost a decade now. So, yeah. But, oh, thank you. See, I knew she'd know. Search engine organization. Okay. So I am safe and also have SEO appeal. So that's cool. So then it says, safety for YouTube. The first hour contains no medical disinformation, no overt political rhetoric, no violent or inflammatory statements, no profanity or hate speech, no controversial CVID related claims. The closer it gets to edge, and it did it with quotes, material is a gentle skepticism of mainstream narratives. Example, NASA, satellite images, synthetic diamonds, censorship of wholesome content, but all is expressed conversationally and respectfully. See, AI is getting me to like it, right? And Neo told me not to. So did, what's that kid? Connor from Terminator, that kid would be very unhappy with me. But this sounds really nice. It says, in fact, it's one of the most family-friended first hours you've got, particularly since the second half leans into biblical references, crystal lore, and gemology history. This is quite an ad. But SEO and algorithm appeals this episode taps into multi-trending and evergreen interest clusters. I have no idea what that means. But yes, crystals, gemstones, healing stones. The discussion on crystals is living beings, diamonds, frequency-based properties directly ties into the still hot wellness spirituality market. Keywords like crystals, healing, gemstone, meaning diamond. So it goes on from there. And where does it keeps going? It says, oh, this one's good because he writes ChatGPT writes a lot. And light skepticism of space narratives, phrased safely, no direct flat earth dogma, but questioning satellite claims, Mariner 9, and ceiling fan imagery could attract viewers curious about NASA's skepticism, fake space theories, and alternative cosmology. Words like, let's see, keep on going here. Where is it? Let me get to the bottom here. Recommendation. You should stream this first hour episode, and here's why. It's clean, it's safe, and a slow burn. Perfect for catching spiritually curious viewers or those on the fringe of mainstream reality breakdown. It naturally leads into curiosity about hour 2, where things deepen further. Biblical gem symbolism and hidden meanings. Ceiling Fan Man has a likable, humble presence that makes it's on here, I'm telling you, I'm reading it. Has a likable, humble presence that makes the show approachable for new listeners. Okay, so that was wonderful, right? I thought so. I was like, whoa. But wait, there's more. Even though he never said that now. She then took ChatGPT's, she's putting AI against each other. So she took ChatGPT's, what do you call that, assessment of me, and gave it to Grok, because I make the joke about how, where is it? Here's Grok. I make the joke that everyone questions things on, especially on Twitter, and ask Grok. And so our whole world is about Grok. And so Grok has an even crazier, let's see, you can't see. Over here, maybe? I don't know why it does that. You can't see it. Let's see a little bit. You can see a little bit. See, look at this. This thing goes on forever. This is Grok explaining ChatGPT. So I'm definitely not going to read all that. But here's the weird takeaway that happened with Grok. Okay. First, he or whoever AI largely agrees with ChatGPT's assessment, but he'd like to add some nuance and refine a few points. So what does it say here? It says, where is it? Because this thing, it got from being fun to being creepy, and I'll explain why. You'll hear it. Let's see, where is it? Family friendly tone. Where is it? Hang on. Let's see. Ceiling Fan Man's likability, according to Grok. I agree that ChatGPT's likable, humble presence, his self-deprecating humor, there it is, like joking about not rolling the R's in Crow's name. Well, I learned Spanish. You had 2 R's together. It's Crow. But I forgot I did that on that episode. I don't even remember how long ago I did that one. But joking about not rolling the R's in Crow's name, and personal anecdotes. Example, his awakening journey and his wife's soap making make him relatable. It brought you into it, honey, just when you thought you were out. So check this out. This is the part that starts getting really creepy. However, his delivery is subdued compared to his usual Friday night show. And then he says, which might not fully showcase his comedic flair that Rose praises. Okay, so let's just pause there for a moment. So now somehow Grok knows that the episode I did on Crow was not like this crazy, weird, funny show I do on Friday nights. It knows it was different, and it brought Rose into it and said, what did it say? That might not fully showcase his comedic flair that Rose praises. Like, there was an old joke. There was a thermos, and the guy asked about the thermos, and he said, "What do you want to know?" He says, I put hot liquid in it and it stays hot, and I put cold liquid in it and it stays cold. And so he says, so what's the problem? He goes, how does it know? And so that's my question here. How does it know? It must like watching me, right? I know everyone knows that they all listen and watch and stuff, but it literally is watching AI. I mean, why would I not think that? You know what I mean? But when it's like right in your face, it like freaks you out. AI is watching this show. I mean, others, but for right now, it's watching this show. And it knows enough to know that I'm funnier tonight than I was on the Crow Show. And Rose might have been a little bit overzealous when she came and said I was super funny. I don't know. It's just bizarre. Very weird. So, and another funny thing about AI, I forgot to pull the photo, but my wife sent me a thing. It was a short clip and said, AI is not a new thing. People have been talking to, because AI is, let's face it, it's demon technology. And so people have been doing that for years with Ouija boards, so we've just upgraded it. Instead of the typewriter, we're on the computer. But yeah, it's pretty wild. It's in my face. Oh, these glasses. Somebody did say that they don't like the square that comes. These are new glasses. I like them in regular life. So I'll have to deal with it. I'll switch back to the other glasses another night. Or wait, do I have it here? Let's see. Do I have another pair? That's the thing when you have glasses. You usually have glasses everywhere. I don't know if these would be much better. Let's see. I did, of course. You have glasses many years as I have, you find a pair. So let's try this. No, that's worse. All right, we're going back to these. Hey, you guys are going to have to deal with it, because if I don't have them on, I couldn't see the screens. And if I can't see the screens, then the show gets even worse.
Boom, baby.
And that wasn't even the button I wanted. What? Yeah. Although I might put you to work, because I do need some more coffee. So when you get a chance, my love. All right. Where should we go from here? Is Patty G in the house? Wasn't directed at her. She just likes that tiger, and that's the only place you get to see it. It's on this show. Do you like my new sticker? So I'd rather advertise that than the China company it came from. Let's get back into these tabs, because I still haven't still got Sarah's video too. We're having fun, right? We're doing okay. I hope so. 143 wonderful, beautiful souls here. Thank you for coming here and spending time here. Please hit that like button, share, subscribe if you feel like it. And but just sit back and enjoy. And if I talk about something and you want to comment on it, in the comment section, or write me an email, ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. I'll answer it and try to, whatever it is that you're asking, help you figure it out. Oh, my coffee's here. Thank you, honey. All right, so I found this is fascinating. Thanks. They've talked about this before, but apparently whenever there's something big happening at the Pentagon, the pizza companies around the area that do delivery, they get inundated with orders. Now I know everyone, you cute people and all that. I get it. Pizza, it's a thing. Let's just let that go for a second. But the fact that the emergency broadcast system is basically pizzas, as to how many pizzas the Pentagon staff, because if they order a lot, it means that they're going to be spending a lot of time, overtime and stuff, and something big is coming. And so they call it the pizza index. And this has been going on for years. And so the last thing that just happened with the Israel-Iran thing, before the headline came out, that's your pizzas. So what do they say? If you want a sign, here's your sign. So there you go. And that's fake. No, I've seen it. The world actually has fire coming out the bottom. That's what makes the mountains. All right. What's next? And the internet, it wins all the time. So you got whatever's going on. And again, pray for all the families that are being affected by this in real life. but on the stage in the theater, we have love him or hate him, or both, or neither. You've got a president that, for the right reasons, the wrong reasons, you take your side, I don't care, but bombed the crap out of Iran, because they apparently bombed the crap out of Israel. Who said Israel bombed the crap out of them? And you can go back and forth. I'm not political. Did you hear what GPT said? It's very family friendly here. You go read the news and you figure out what's happening or isn't happening. But the fact that we would bomb the crap out of someone, and then he would literally say, "Now it's time for peace." Someone took that basic idea and what he said and made this tweet, because I don't believe this is real. I asked Grok, and it said it wasn't sure, but I don't think they had Twitter back in December of 1941. But and this gentleman named the real Hirihoto, so is real, and he's got a blue check mark, so this has got to be real. And he said, "We have completed our very successful attack on Hawaii. All planes are now outside the American airspace." This is what Trump said about ours. He just inserted things like Hawaii and America instead of what it was before. Go find it. It's there. "All our planes are now outside of American airspace. A full payload of bombs were dropped on the primary site, Pearl Harbor. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great Japanese warriors. There's not another military in the world that could have done this. Now's the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter." This is exactly what Trump wrote, only, this was this word was Iran, and this word was the whatever that site was where they had the weapons of mass destruction. Oh wait, that's the other presidency. I don't know what they call them anymore, but they used to be called weapons of mass destruction. And that's when we decided to bomb, was it Afghanistan? I don't know. I'm getting all confused. We bomb everyone. Do you know we've occupied or attacked every single country on the face of the earth, except like 4 that you've probably never even heard of. We've done it all, and we did it our way. So that's all he did. They just changed out, and this was American pilots, and perspective, right? What do you see? Which side are you on? Team A or blue or whatever, red or blue, A or B? And then the clip that went around the world, he basically says that these two countries, he didn't like what Israel did. What did Israel do? Excuse me. So he can't talk bad about anything. You know what? I'm not even going to bother with playing this. You guys all heard this. But he said he's not happy with Israel because right after he bombed the crap out of Iran and then said, "Now it's time to talk peace," and Iran said, "Okay, let's talk peace because we don't want you to bomb the crap out of us again." Then Israel bombed the crap out of him. So what does he say? "I'm upset with them." That's all he does. He's very mad. They're very naughty. But then he goes on to say, "I'm really unhappy with Israel for violating it. Both sides don't know what the F they're doing." Like the President of the United States. Fine. Blue language, whatever you want to call it. But for all the Christian-loving Trump supporters, I just wonder if they had pause on this when he purposely cussed out loud. Because I do this show, as Grok told you, not Grok, ChatGPT, family friendly, only because I remember when my dad was alive, God rest his soul, when he was alive, I tried to have him watch something on The Lies of the World, I forget. And the guy in it cussed all the time. And so he turned it off after a minute and said, "I can't watch it." And so I've always thought about that. It's not like I don't cuss in my real life here and there. I obviously, everyone, I would think, it's, unless you really work at it, says some swear word. I mean, my grandmother never did. I don't know how she did it. Never raised her voice either. But in any case, I try my best knowing that this information is going to go out to more people if I don't do certain things. That's why ChatGPT called me safe and what was it? SEO. So, but that's my conscious decision to do that. That's, you do you, I do me. And I'm just wondering how people are absorbing this information when he went on air and purposely cussed the F-bomb. So again, I find it fascinating because don't be, God says don't be a hypocrite. So make sure that we all fall, of course. I get that too. And then he did repentance, right? That's all you got to do. Yeah. So, okay. Okay. What do we got here? I haven't looked at you guys. You doing okay over there? Duke Nukem. Aren't they still saying one day they're going to make a sequel that they never have? So, all right. So let's see. Let's go. Let's keep on going. And I covered an entire show on this. You can look it up. It's hard to find, but it was during the first presidency in when did you go in? 2017 or whatever, that he converted. And you can find that story. It's hard to find. But then this one.
It's an honor to be here with the first Jewish president of the United States.
See, they tell you the truth, and then they joke.
And if he isn't, he should be.
So now you have to, once again, you got to make up your own mind. Was the first part, was he serious or was he kidding? That's how they do it. And so you have to make those decisions. God gave you free will. You have to decide what information you want to take. Was it a joke or not? So just saying. I had to look this up. Now, of course, the picture is not real, but Iran has said, you can look this up, that they will pursue legal action against the United States attacks. I just don't think he's going to the right office saying, but maybe he is. Maybe he is. I mean, there are stereotypes for reasons, it seems. So, but that's part of that story is true, apparently, allegedly. This story, I have no way of proving. So I'm saying, this most likely could be untrue. But this story came out and it was all over the news, and it came out from information coming from Iran. There's no way that they would ever do anything like this to us. And that is the Star of Moloch, just so you know. It's not the Star of David. Okay, next. This one I wasn't sure if I was going to use it here or in Scary Space News.
3, 2, 1, mark.
So this is some kind of missile going up that's supposed to blow things up or whatever. What I found fascinating was, unlike NASA, they put a camera to it, like that GoPro rocket that's at the end of my show. If you see that at the very end of the show, you'll see that. And it goes up. And of course, it starts spinning because it's going up. But what I noticed about this is, no matter where you pause it, it's flat. Where's the curve of the Earth? Everyone else is talking about missiles being ICBMs or whatever. That is a flat plane of existence right there. No matter where you pause it. There's no curvature because we don't live on a flying, spinning ball in space. We live on God's earth. It's stationary. It's held by pillars. There's a firmament. There's waters above and below. And he's right there listening to every word and protecting us and guiding us. That is flat. And I'm not a flat earther, but that's flat. So. Okay. Yeah, Star of Remphan. Did I say Remphan or Moloch? Oh, same creature, isn't he? But yeah, Star of Remphan. Okay. Isn't that something? So I didn't know where to put that one, but it could go into Scary Space News. We could just go right there. Why don't we do that and then they'll connect? See how we do that? Here. It's over here. No, it's up there. Where is he? Here he is.
This week in scary space news.
Yeah, I broke the fourth wall. I didn't have it up in time. There we go. Okay. So I don't know. Things were going on. The multiple fire departments were searching for what people from anywhere from North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Tennessee, and Florida are all describing a blazing fireball streaking across the sky. I think it was like a meteor or something. All right, so let's look at this. And again, all of this information is coming on the Tell Lies Vision. This the whole thing, the whole story could be planted in the internet, and I never know. I'm just reporting on what is out there. So you got this. It just kind of vanishes. And it was shot from multiple cameras across different states, supposedly. Or it's all been edited in, and this whole thing is fake. What am I going to tell you? But so again, this, whatever that is, it's not an asteroid coming out of space like they want you to believe. Because there's a dome, there's a protection, there's a firmament. So whatever's falling has to fall an angel or whatever it is coming down. It's not coming from outer space. It doesn't exist the way they teach you. Then this brought up this whole discussion I had with my wife the other night. No, you know what? Here, where are you, Connor? You can't find it anymore because he's on a hiatus for a length of time. But the gentleman that you want to check into that knows, I learned so much from him. Brian Stavely, he did a show used to called Dose of Reality. Now he went back to work in the private sector kind of thing, because this isn't easy. You cannot maintain your bills. Well, you know, doing this, you just can't. You can't maintain your friends or family either. But hey, I digress. But I believe he's still, you can look him up online. I think he still has a website. But his breakdown on what happened that day is by far the best. And I actually did several shows with him over those topics. But yeah, it's pretty interesting right now. Yeah, he was a big part of waking me up too. Absolutely. And there's a whole new bunch of people that don't even know who I'm talking about probably anymore. But his name's Brian Stavely. Check him out if you can find him. But right now he's doing other things. So maybe he'll be back. He did it before. I think he did like a 10-year thing. So, and just so you know, like I said, the money that that you help keep everything afloat. Look at how old my machines are. I don't even know what you put there, Pearl. It's just a box. And the same thing with Wendy. It's just a box. I don't know. My computer's too stupid to read whatever that is. Can I see it anywhere else on the, no. But yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, there's another box and another box. So thank you for the boxes. Whoops, where is it? Where is it? Now they know. That's funny. I did probably, I don't know, back in the day, because I was sort of his go-to guy. If he needed a quick guest on there, I'd jump on there. And I did more shows about Mandela with him because he was, again, the first Mandela video I saw that dealt with the continents. It turned out to be his. And then because I was reading the Bible every day, I was seeing the changes, and I was sort of his go-to Mandela Bible guy for a while there. So it was kind of fun. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. His name's Brian Stavely. His channel is no longer right now. But you can look for him online, I think. Real News online. You can try to find him there. I think he still has that. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at it in a while, so I really can't tell you. So I'll look into it. I can try to put it in a chat or talk about it next week. Where was I? Let's keep going. Oh, we were doing Scary Space News. We just started it. Okay. Clickety click. Where were we? I think we were. Oh, yeah, we were talking about that meteor that fell, right? So my wife and I were having this discussion about this after I talked about this story. And I said, I've talked about this before, but there's approximately, they vary. AI says now 190, but I've heard 200 impact craters on the earth. So if there's a firmament, what do you think possibly could have caused those craters? Of course, we'll never know. We weren't here when it happened. However, coincidentally, and I no longer believe in those, the book of Enoch says there were 200 fallen angels. So how far of a stretch is it to say maybe those craters are where the angels hit Earth? Maybe. I don't know. It's fun to think about it. You can't prove it. I can't prove it. But that is an interesting coincidence that there's, if not the same amount, almost the exact same amount of craters versus fallen angels. Just saying. But don't forget this. Don't get caught up in the 200 fallen angels that are here screwing with us, because God specifically tells you, God specifically tells you that only a third of the angels fell. So if you do your math, like I was taught in school, that means 400 at least are still up there with God. And so we outnumber them. And we also have God and Jesus on our side. And God, don't forget, he's the creator. That means he's the programmer. It's like the game or the movie Tron. The programmer of the game is on our side. So just remember that. But anyways, that's my theory, potentially. Who knows? I can't prove it one way or the other, but it's fun to talk about and to try to guess. So, oh, you found him? Oh, good, Allison. Cool. So Allison found him. Excellent. Yeah, check out his stuff on that day in September. They're pretty wild. And he convinced me. He was actually talking about the fakeness of that event, but then he went one step too far for the people that he was hanging out with, and he got ostracized from that community. Imagine being part of I don't think what happened on that day really happened. And then from that community being ostracized because you're like, well, I actually don't think what you think actually happened. So yeah, it's pretty wild, but learned a lot on that stuff. He's the one that kind of showed me the lies of the world. It's pretty wild. So that's my theory on the holes on the earth, and possibly they are the angels that fell. Who knows? We don't know. Just like this. So for those of you, I don't know, when it's interesting, I'm not even saying this is a Mandela, but when they talk about the space shuttle disaster, we always talk about the Challenger in the 80s or whatever. And that's the one that I remember. I really don't remember this one, but that could just be me. In 2003, the Columbia was also destroyed in space, and it was burnt up. And then you read that story, and they of NASA up until the moment that they lose transmission with the camera, it goes out. And then you get this.
Back of the right main gear down, talk back.
Nose gear and right main gear down, talk back.
Yes, sir.
And flight econ? Econ.
So I'm trying to show you that it's so easy to deceive if you just piece things together, like that dog driving the car going off the cliff. Those two things didn't happen. Well, at least didn't happen together. But I put them together and it made it look smooth, hopefully. Smooth. Like a video start to finish. This is all fake. This stuff with the
get 4 temperature sensor.
All they did was carry over the NASA sound effects and then put all this in here.
Check.
And this isn't it. Because if you actually continue on the article, where is it? It was a hoax promotion. I don't know. Went on. It was published years ago by a CGI artist called the Faking Hoaxer. So years ago, people were faking these kind of things. So what can we trust coming off these screens anymore? Seriously. It's really, really wild. just know that whatever you see on these screens potentially has been altered or is completely fake. And this one, I was just curious. This person said, watch out for space apples. And other than this one right here, not quite sure what they're talking about. So I don't see Jen in the chat, but I can't check their feet. But supposedly you should see a whole bunch of space apples in this picture. I have no idea what that means. Have I beat that one to death, hon? I should move on. All right, move on. Moving on. Space apples. And then, what is this if it's not bubbles in space? What is that? So what is it, bugs, space dust, or bubbles? So then the question is, why would there be bubbles in space? That makes no sense. Unless you're not necessarily in space all the time. Maybe you're in a giant pool that they have like the entire ISS space station and whatever they want for quote unquote practice, for training exercises. Meanwhile, bubbles in space and green screen technology and gigantic pools with life-size machinery to mimic the stuff that's allegedly in space. But I'm just a conspiracy theorist, right? So, all right, moving on. What's next? I thought this was pretty funny. The world is mine to wonder it's. But don't forget, whatever you want to say the devil looks like, most likely he's beautiful. But the Baphomet creature is both. So it's no wonder that we see things the way that we're seeing them now, right? Because it's a hybrid creature that has both male and female organs, and it's just coincidence that it looks like it's on the top of the Space Force hat. I'm sure nobody noticed that until it got to production in China, and then no one ever turned it upside down and said, "Hey, that looks like the Baphomet picture." Just like nobody ever decided, where's the other one? Is it on this one? Yeah. How about the Blue Origin logo? That once again looks just coincidence that it looks like the Baphomet again. Just saying. Like, how many coincidences before you realize who's running this place? How do you know we're in the little season? Because this guy's picture in movies and TV and shows, he's everywhere. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The greatest trick the devil ever did isn't to making people not believe in him. I think it's making them believe in him, but not in God. Because then you have no hope. You're waiting for Q to save you. Because if you only believe in one side of the battery, you only believe in the negative charge and not the positive, it doesn't make any sense. Where's my guy? He's over here somewhere. Yeah, it's too late. Here
that makes no sense. That makes no sense.
It was worth it to me. So yeah, that's what's happening. You don't have to listen or believe it, but this is a battle for your soul. These people tell you all the time they sold their soul. Prince tells you in a cryptic message that it's a battle for your soul. They all tell you that, and we all laugh it off and use our Ouija boards and stuff. It's real. This stuff's real, and there's consequences because this is a spiritual battle. And if you don't know that, well, then they just can have their way with you at that point. So, and if you're dipping into all the black magic stuff and witchcraft and all that, I don't know. Pray for you is all I could say. That's all I could say. You might think it's a joke, but it's actually real. And the joke is thinking it's a joke when it's real. They're laughing at you because you think it's a joke. That's why they put it in all these movies and TV. So if someone like me goes, "Hey, I see aliens with these special glasses on," nobody believes them, right? What is that? They live. Same thing in a way. How about this? This is Walt Disney. Of course, we know that they're connected with the Nazis. What is it? Werner von Braun and all those guys to deceive us. And again, it's not about space and money and all that stuff. Yeah, it does all that also, but it does the same thing as everything else. Hides the existence of God, makes you not realize who you are and that God exists. So how did the credits in this movie called Man in Space, released in 1955, before we were able to go up high enough, right? Because it says right here, the first photograph of Earth was taken in 1972. You could say that in 1969, we went up to the moon, so we would have been able to see it. But even so, we hadn't gotten high enough, allegedly, in 1955, that we know exactly what the continents look like and the sizes and the shapes. You can go back to, which one is it? Universal. Back in the 40s, I think, or 30s, their logo had what the Earth looked like, even though no one had ever been high enough to see that. So, but whatever. Or you can believe that they're just really smart, I guess. But once again, China is not smart enough to realize that in the anti-gravity of space, see, they got to put their feet in these things so they don't fly around. And they're smart enough to tie their hair back. The Americans like to fly it all around with hairspray. But what they're not smart enough to know is you shouldn't have an open glass of water on a table. Because what's keeping the water in? Anyone? Bueller? What keeps the water in while they do all their things? Just saying. It's kind of interesting. Because, they can go over like, well, the glass is glued down or it has a magnet, blah, blah, blah. But what keeps the water in the glass? So, and why would you have an open glass of water where if it gets knocked over, it's going to go into all these electronics and basically just like screw you over? I don't know. What do I know? Ancient Chinese secrets, says 16 Alpha. You're right. But see, I don't know. I know nothing. All I know is
there are no X. There are no X.
That's all we can do. All right. What's next? Oh, that's the Wife Soap Store. All right. So I guess we finished Scary Space News. And we got that Iran missile. Do we want to get through all these? I still got to do Sarah. Well, let's clear out some of these tabs, and then we can do Sarah. How about that? Some of these I probably don't want to play anyways. But see, it's a big club, and you're not in it. Is that what George Carlin says? Why? Why are we doing this? Why would you do that? They all do it. When in your life have you and your friends ever did this? I mean, come on, people. Wake up. It's not a spiritual battle, then why the hell are they doing this? Just saying. You guys decide if you think that there's something behind this or not. But I don't ever remember doing this. What was it? Here's the church. Here's the steeple. Open the doors. There's all the people. Yeah, they're exposing themselves. Yeah, completely. Yeah, so there's that. But they have to show you. It's not just one of them. It's everyone. This will be good with the echo. Everyone! That's got one of the best roles he's ever done. And see, I can appreciate the beauty of his craft and also know that there's stuff in there that either is not good for my soul or is there to push an agenda. But it's entertaining because they're really good at their craft, witchcraft, whatever. They're good at it. So anyways, I'm off on a tangent again. See, he's showing you too. And then he must have talked about this organization I can't. There's so many clips out there. There's no point in even trying to play them all.
And the presidents and the kings and the queens, right? And I actually had breakfast today with a king and a queen who were beautiful, beautiful people. Central casting, I must say.
Central casting. He's constantly talks about central casting. And for those of you who don't know, central casting, that's when you want someone that looks like a king and you go to central casting and they have these people that look exactly like what you would need in your mind is central casting. He talks about it all the time. All the time. Central casting. Extras, bodies, doubles, and stand-ins. Founded in LA in 1925. But what do I know? I'm just a comedian on YouTube saying that they're all actors, but I know nothing, right? I had to research this. I had to prove to myself that someone hadn't doctored this image. And you can look for it yourself. In fact, look and see if Grok says anything. They always ask Grok. Anyways, that's an interview she did. And that's an actual photo from it. I thought for sure someone had messed with it. I mean, it's looking really close to the, was that the Conehead movie or something? I don't know what's going on here. But so did someone put her head in a vice? What's going on here? And, you know, if you don't believe me, here's the interview. It's even crazier.
10 years in the public eye, 8 years in the White House, where every word, every utterance, every heel.
Okay, wait, I don't think that one's real. I don't think is that one real? That one's fake, I think. I think that one's fake. Yeah, Rocky Share, we have Jesus glasses on. Because when I put my like when they're not on, I put them on, I go, Jesus. Oh, shoot, I snorted.
On my shoe, every blink of my eye, every fist bump.
Every fist bump. Look at the hand. I wonder if she really has all those rings and stuff. Looks like a boxer. It's fantastic.
My eye, every fist bump.
Shoot. Okay. Yeah. LeBron. Yeah. But yeah. Because see, the necklaces are there. I wonder if the hand is anyways. So there you go. Yeah, that's good. Good stuff there. That's all, of course, fake news. This, of course, is real. Remember all you supporters of this guy? And you're like, hey, he's here to save us. He just banned red dye number 4 for like the second time in my lifetime or something. I don't know. And then he goes on a plane and he eats McDonald's and looks all sheepish and stuff. Oh, but there was nothing else to eat. Are you kidding? That was Trump's plane. He probably has a whole chef and crew on board to make him whatever you want. You want lobster, whatever. I'm sure he has whatever he wants. Or the guy could have waited. What was it, a 2-hour flight? And has a bag of peanuts like we do or something, unless you got a nut allergy, then have a bag of, I don't know, what could you eat if you were him then? I don't know, air. Pretzels, thank you. Pretzels. Something. But no, he's got to eat the McDonald's and tell you he's saving you from the evils of the world. Meanwhile, did you guys happen to catch this? I'm not saying it's the sounding mark of the beast-ish, but
about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives.
Can you hear him?
We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again.
It's called the MAHA. I swear there's got to be some ritual name there, because MAGA is actually the name in the satanic cult of the top witch. Not warlock, by the way, witch. But in any case, I digress.
And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
So there you go. Ooh, that's a great place to stop his face, too. Look at that. Yikes. That's some They Live situation going on right there, isn't it? Did his eyes vanish? Are they there? That's bizarre. Yeah, that's some bizarre stuff right there. That's enough? Okay. Wife says this is enough. It's enough. How do I get off of this here? Because while that was happening, someone tried to sneak in here. Where is? There we go. Cage fighter. Thought you could just slide in here, no one noticed.
I don't feel dirty. I don't feel dirty.
All right. So there we go. Yeah, Lizard Man. What was it Serpent Snake Man? What did Connor say? I don't even know. I can't find it. Maybe it's better. So, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's who he looked like. He looked like the the Emperor on Star Wars. Oh shoot! I want to look at it again, but no, my wife said that's enough. So that's enough. I can. She just gave me permission. Let's look at it again. All right, I'll tell you when it's. Oh, it's still frozen there. Look at that. I don't know what's going on there. That's some weird stuff right there. And then he blinks and they kind of go, look, and then the pupils come back. Look, they're right there. You guys can see him, right? There's his pupils. But when he's facing you, he blinked. Look, I guess you can kind of see a little bit there. That's some weird stuff going on there. Sorry. Just weird. Yeah, his eyes look kind of normal there. And then when he turns, that's true. My wife says he doesn't look or act normal. Oh, shoot. Okay, enough with the shapeshifter. You're right, everyone. Okay, it's enough. That's Big Mike. Let me get rid of these. Real picture, fake picture. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But yeah, so he wants you to have a wearable. Now, let's say, I'll never wear a watch. That's okay. This was an oldie but goodie that they came out on this TED Talk.
A means of authentication that you could simply wear.
Tattoos, stretchable tattoos that you could wear on your body, say like on your wrist or your forehead.
Solved. Now, it may be true that 10 to 20-year-olds don't want to wear a watch on their wrist, but you can be sure that they'll be far more interested in wearing an electronic tattoo, if only to piss off their parents.
Isn't that great? So, yeah. And then, but wait, there's more. If you don't want to wear a watch or a tattoo, you can always pop a pill.
Here, I'll let you hold it. Would you like to hold it?
I'll hold it.
Okay. So,
you guys see it?
This pill has a small chip inside of it with
what could possibly go wrong?
The switch. It also has what amounts to an inside-out potato battery.
Whatever that is. Just says it out there like we all know.
When you swallow it, the acids in your stomach serve as the electrolyte.
That's what do it. Okay.
And they power it up, and the switch goes on and off. And it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body.
And everyone knows what that means.
Essentially, your entire body becomes your authentication token.
Isn't that great? So they have multiple ways of creating the mark of the beast. And you say, well, wait, you say we're in the short season means, or little season pizza means that already happened. Well, that happened then, but we're living in this time now. And if we are in the little season pizza of deception, of Satan's deception, well, then he's going to mimic all the things that went down back then, and he's going to do it his way. And so why not have the mark of the beast, either a wristwatch, a tattoo, or a pill, right? Or who knows what's coming next, So anyways, thought that was something. And also just so you know that his advisory committee said that the mRNAs are perfectly safe. So great news there, don't you think? His MAGA thing is like, or MAHA is full stream ahead, right? It's just moving on down the road. So, boy, it's sure nice to know we finally solved that question. The people selling to you say it's completely safe. Don't forget, you got to listen to the doctors and the three-letter agencies. They know way more than me. I'm a comedy show. I'm only experimenting myself. They're doing it to you. And what is this? I don't even know how this slide got here. Something about Bill Gates. But I don't know why they put that in there. This is just a chart showing you how the fertility rates have been going down, and nobody knows why at this point. Scientists are still trying to figure it out. So hopefully they'll get on that soon and figure out why that potentially is going down all over the world. And this is a peer-reviewed article that I probably don't even want to talk about. So I'll tell you what, if you guys want to read it, I will copy it and I will paste it into the chat, and you can watch that sometime or read it. So there's that. Okay, stop that. Oops. Stop. There we go. Just in case there is anybody over on Rumble, I'll throw that in there. Let's see. What's going on Rumble? Is it not playing? What'd you do to me, Rumble? Is it not working? Well, Rumble people. Oh, it is working. Okay, good. I don't know why it looked like it wasn't. All right. So, okay, we'll put it over there anyways, just in case somebody wants to see it over there. And lastly, I'll throw it over on Rockfish. Paste, and there it goes. Okay. Moving on. Let's get covered that. And in a completely unrelated story, let's see what's going on over at in Canada, or as I like to call it, the 51st state of the United States. For those of us that think there's only been 50, some people think 52, but regardless, Canada is just a state of the United States at this point. And they had their speaker up there from their Senate or whatever.
Senator Brazo. Thank you very much. And oh, shit.
That's some crazy stuff going over there in Canada. So, yeah. But that happens nowadays, you know. People just pass away from natural causes. What is natural causes? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, he died of what? Natural causes. What? Or what about what this lady said? This is an oldie but goodie too.
What I realized is we are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution.
No, okay, got to throw that in there.
To be aware that we are affecting our own evolution.
Yeah, okay. And how are we doing that, mystery lady?
By everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars.
Wow. Back up the truck.
Babies we eat, the food we eat.
I'm sure it was just a slip of the tongue, right? Just a slip of the tongue. Promega is the name of the company. I don't even want to look into it. God knows what that is. So, yeah. Okay, this might be my favorite clip, definitely of the week, maybe of the year so far. The caption is, you might not know, what is it? What's the caption say? Your chances of being attacked by a shopping cart, your chances of being attacked by a shopping cart are very low, but never zero. What the hell is going on here? Oh my gosh. There's so many of these things that they're joke videos, but that thing sure looked serious. Anyway. Yeah, the music's great, right? Yeah, and if it turns out that's a copyrighted thing, I'll have to take that out, and people watching later won't get to see it. But in any case, you got to see it. That's why it's best to be here live, because you never know what you're going to miss. Because if that got cut out, now they're going, what did I miss? Okay, what's next? This one just fascinated me, and I was just kind of trying to do my own research. So, of course, there is some type of Nephilim walking around out there called Bigfoot. At least I truly believe that. But what I found was interesting is I hadn't seen the Bigfoot map before, but I have seen the Agenda, was it 21 map? And I was trying to coordinate to see if they match. I don't know. I'm still doing research on this one. But so maybe not so much, but it is kind of riveting. So, and just so you know, when I'm talking about Canada's already the United States, do you know that Canada goes all the way down in here, in this area? And look how far down you could actually go. Where is it? I think one of these, you can go south. Yeah, you go south from Minnesota and you can go south and end up in Canada. Canada's already in here. Just enough already. Just be the 51st state. We already took over the Gulf of America. We're coming for you, Canada. What are you gonna do? Send the Mounties on? What was that guy? What was that Mountie? The cartoon. I can't think of it. It wasn't. There was George the Jungle. There was Super Chicken. There was Tom Slick. What was the name of the Canadian guy? Anybody? Thank you, Ubicon. Dudley Do Right. You think my friends in Canada would know right away. so okay. Bullwinkle. No, Dudley Do Right. Oh, Bullwinkle. Yeah. So, all right. Let's get off of this. There's the Bigfoot. That's the vagina. Yeah, I like this one. Life was better in the good old days. Meanwhile, these were the good old days. Just saying. Wouldn't it be wild that living in those days? That's why when I first woke up to the times that we're in, I was like, whoa, what was me? Why me? Why me? I'd rather just like live existence and have kids, great, whatever, and grow old with my partner and then die, whatever. Like that's a fulfilling life. And then I woke up to that we're in these like crazy end times. But then again, two things. I'd rather be in where we are now than how crazy these days must have gotten. And in addition to that, everybody in the Bible throughout history, I mean, I can play the everyone guy, but they all asked about the times that we find ourselves in. So it's a pretty popular time that people were curious about, and we're in it. That's, again, why I truly believe that we are in the very end of the book, because at the very end of the book, and this is where I upset my Christian people or rapture people or whatever you want to say. But it's at the very end of the book, after Revelation, after God's reign, Christ on earth, there's people at the very end of the book for Satan to deceive. He deceives, the whole earth. Well, who are those people? Not to sound like Jerry Lewis, but who are those people? Why can't we be those people? Like everybody seems to always want to be the people that are being raptured or going through tribulation or whatever. Fine. There's still got to be people after that. Why can't we be those people? That's all I've ever said. And to all the people that get mad at me that I talk like this, I'm not deceiving people because I still believe there's some tribulation coming. And I still am waiting for Jesus Christ to come back and save us and to be done with this nonsense. And if you think we're at the beginning of Revelation, you're technically waiting for the same thing. So enough with the fussing and fighting. It not going to help anyone. What I do believe is the people that are waiting for rapture, if it already happened or it doesn't come for them, that's a falling away. I feel people will feel, I don't know, not even betrayed, but just let down. And I don't want you to feel that way. So as I've always felt, prepare for the worst, but, expect the best. Used to be hoped for, but now I know that God's there. The worst can come, but he has a way of making great things come out of bad things. I've seen it. It's still difficult to live through, but we've all seen it on some level. All right, what's next? And my other friends that I talk about these things, I still truly believe not everything's a melted building. Some things like this most likely could be evidence of giant trees. Because when you look at the trees that we have, the only trees that we have, excuse me, go back several hundred years, maybe 1,000 or so. Where are all the old trees? If we've been around 5,000, 6,000 years, where are those? And don't forget, humanity, even though, again, they want to teach you evolution, which if we want to cycle back to evolution, the show I did on that, think about this. Plankton or whatever became a fish in the water, and then that fish somehow mutated and got legs and crawled out. And rather than go back in the water where the only food source it's ever known is, it said, hey, I'm going to check it out here and stay out here. And then some of those animals turned into monkeys and then turned into us. And some of those animals turned into mammals that aren't monkeys. And some of those mammals then said, the heck with this, I'm going back in the water. And they became dolphins and whales. And if that story sounds ridiculous, I'm not making it up. That's science. That is evolution. If you believe in evolution, you have to believe that a fish creature came out of the water and then went back in the water and became a half hybrid fish mammal creature. Or we live on God's earth. Evolution's a lie. Species you don't have two dogs have a cat. You might have variations of variety within a species, but that's it. That's as far as that goes. So God created man in his own image, and we're different than the animals. We have domain and dominion over the animals. They're there for us. We have a soul. They don't. They have empathy. They might think and love and, feel all the affections and stuff in a relationship, but that's where they differ. There's no talking dogs except on movies. I love my dogs. I love my cat. Never thought I'd say that. Oh, we got to play the Sarah video. All right, we're almost done with the tabs. So, okay, what's next? So, going back to the story, where are all the old trees? Because back in those days, humans were way bigger. That's what they want to try to pretend. When they find giant bones, they steal them and take them away because they don't want to mess with the theory of evolution. They don't want you to think God exists. And so when you find out that we were much bigger back then, so theoretically you need bigger vegetation because that, according to what I remember as a kid, trees help with oxygen and stuff and cleanse the like the shellfish and stuff. Why you're not supposed to really eat them is because they cleanse the toxins in the water. The trees would supposedly, from what I understood, help cleanse the air. And so this would make sense. And how did it get hewn down or honed down or whatever you say? I can't tell you. I wasn't there. But somehow it got cut because it looks just like this. And when you look at our trees, they don't go back that far or that tall. Just saying. I also believe that the Devil's Tower is a tree stump. It's hard to convince me differently at this point. But hey, again, I could be wrong on all this. It's just fun to speculate, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know it for a fact. I'm not there. You weren't there. No one was. I don't care how smart you think you are on YouTube or wherever you're getting your information. Nobody was there. We don't know. So all we can do is speculate and then try not to tear each other apart if we don't agree with that theory. Just move on. There was a day when I remember we could have differences of opinion and not fight with each other, but they're trying to make that non-existent too, I guess. Just like this, how far, Jen's always said it. Where is, what's the level? What's the surface of the earth? Where's ground level? We just know the level that we live on. But every once in a while, when you get stuff like this happen, all of a sudden you go, wait a minute. I mean, what are these? Two separate tunnels or pillars or whatever? What was here that's now still under there? How far down does it go? We did a tour in Seattle and we were able to go into this one old building and they were renovating. And the guy admitted, I think it went down another 4 or 6 floors. It's just crazy out in Seattle. You can see an entire city. And the narrative is always the same. Oh, there was a cow kicked over a lantern and it burnt the whole city down and it was easier to just build a new one on top of it. That makes no sense because they would have had to level off the ground. So where'd they get all the earth to fill this in? Why are we building houses here if there was stuff down here? Did they pour a bunch of dirt and stuff on top of this so they could start over? Like the narrative doesn't make sense unless you talk about a cataclysmic event. What could have caused that? Well, there's Noah's flood. They like to say mud flood, but we don't know what that is. But we know about Noah's flood and we know about Revelation. And either one of those could have caused this liquefaction of the earth and buried some of these things. Either one of those. Or some other. God did lots of judgments throughout history. But the narrative that they covered up the old world and built a new one on top of it is insanity. It doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. Where's my guy? I need help. Makes no sense.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Hopefully it was an echo. Look at this. What did they find here? Look at, they're digging away and they found bricks in an arch. See where they're digging? And there's an archway made of brick. Explain that. Oh, it's geological shapes, sedimentary layers, millions of years. Bullcrap. Those are bricks every day of the week, as Jen would say. And they're down in an archway. Look, there's some red bricks even. Look at that. And what could have caused such a cataclysmic event? Well, if you take God out of the picture, you don't have anything. Just some random events. But you put God back into it, and you can see why things got melted, why they look like they've been torched and then buried. Because liquefaction of the earth is a real thing. It doesn't have to come from water. It can come from giant earthquakes, which are written about in Revelation 2. So how do I know that? Well, I'm reading the Bible and it tells me that. Other than that, I have no way of proving anything, and neither do you, whoever you are, because we weren't there. All we can look is the remnant of what's left. We can't see what caused it. But my book, God's book, have it around here somewhere. No, that's the Silent Wife book, but the Bible, it describes these things and tells you what happened. That's the only book I know that talks about what could have happened. So, what's next? Isn't this something? So, with hammer and chisel, these ancient people built complex temples.
You've seen this video where in India they found a stone that can charge any electronics.
That's pretty wild.
And the most curious thing is that it was found only 30 kilometers from this temple of Kailash.
So this temple of Kailash, they said supposedly they dug this out and then carved it with hand tools and donkeys, I guess. It's one piece of stone. Like they can't even understand how to do this today. And look at these things. I mean, come on. When are we going to wake up? You think that the ancient people with hand tools, look at that thing. It's crazy. Somebody are saying that maybe it's some laser technology. But again, we don't know. All I know is you didn't do this with donkeys and hand tools. You just didn't. They'd still be working on it, I bet. Look at this inside. Look at this. What's the point? So you're living in a mud hut and you're going over here every day building this thing, and the kids are crying, why? Where's daddy? He's never home. Oh, he's got to finish the church. Really? Because the labor force was way easier then? Or how about this one? This is the World's Fair in 1904. It was carved as a temporary structure. The hell does that even mean? Was it made of plaster and cardboard? No, this thing was built to last. They had to demolish these buildings. The narrative makes no sense that you would put this up for a World's Fair in 1904 or whatever, and then within a year or two or whatever, tear it all down because they were just temporary. Why wouldn't you leave these? These buildings are beautiful. You don't think people would have come around for years? We still do it on the buildings that are left, but why would they tear down the World's Fair? Makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. Look at this one. Get rid of the music. Look at this cathedral. So donkeys or mules, giant horses. I think someone used to say giant horses, and pulleys and chisels and hanging upside down. Come on. And why are these doors so huge? Who was walking through these things? Certainly wasn't us. Look at that. That's crazy insane. Look at how far that goes. Oh, but they just had a lot of time on their hands. Really? This much time on your hands? Oh, but they had a lot of materials and stuff. Where'd they get them all from? And where was all the trash strewn and debris? And what about the crews? Where were they going to the bathroom? Where were they getting water? Did their horses ever need water? Where was that water coming from? Like, none of it makes any sense. None of it. Here's the only thing that makes sense. They lied to us. That's the end of it. They lied to us. They're still lying to us. And if you can't see that, I don't know what else to say. Look at this. Red brick. Never saw any battle. Looks like a Lego. And yet somehow, miraculously, this looks kind of melted over here. So, anyways, what do I know? Just a YouTuber. And I thought this was interesting. Somebody added this in the St. Cathedral, St. John of the Divine. It's supposed to be just a representation of New York, but sure seems like these things are rocking and rolling, just saying. So this wasn't original architecture, but it still was built and carved before that day that everyone likes to talk about or not talk about. And how do I know that things could be confused as rocks? So if this didn't have a sign, because Jen and I, we always talk about the sign makers, they just plant a sign and then tell you what you're looking at. You would think this is just a rock formation, as you know, everybody likes to tell you. And this is actually a black pyramid of King Amahamanana, number 3. And this is actually a pyramid. That sure looks like a rock. So, yeah, it says it's a pyramid. I agree, kind of, sort of. But I'm just using that as a visual to say, like, all these people that say it can't be a structure. If I hadn't told you this was the pyramid by Amenemhat III, you would have thought it was a rock. Just like that other one to me looked like a tree stump. So, okay. And we covered that with the glass of water. So we're good there. And that's us. Sweet. So you know what that means? We're getting close to the wrapping up the show, but we have the Sarah video. So why don't we do that? Sure. We'll find it here.
A ceiling fan man world premiere video.
Oops. Where'd it go? Dang, I had it perfect, I thought.
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
Okay, wait. Oh, stop it. I'm really messing this up. All right, how do I get me out of there? Blah. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Here we go. You ready for Sarah and what we made? Actually, I think what I showed last week, we made this we made 2 weeks, but I don't know. But within the last few weeks, we made this stuff. All right, here we go. Be quiet and play the video.
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
Is there audio? I should ask. Okay. Well, you're hearing this. I want to make sure the audience hears me. I am. I'm waiting. I know Sarah's video finally, but almost. I'm still waiting to hear. Do you hear it? Is there audio? And then I'll play it. Do-do-do-do-do. Can they hear me? I think they hear me. Okay. 5x5. Thank you. Here we go. So today we're gonna make Swedish meatballs.
English or Swedish meatballs.
And by we, I mean she is, and I'm gonna watch and film. It's my favorite type of...
Loud noises!
Trying to do a video.
Sorry.
Take two. So we're making a meatball recipe, we.
Who's we?
And it's, go ahead. And it's just matzah.
The matzo balls in your court.
Smashed up. And it's gonna go into it. You'll see.
Make breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs, right. And it'll make the dog super happy too. They love it. So we got the breadcrumbs. We're gonna add some Worcestershire into the meat. Worcestershire. So the onions go in the bowl.
Boule. That's B-O-U-L-E in fancy sourdough bread language.
You never know what's in that bowl. But this time we do. It's onions.
Half-wit.
Now it needs some chopped up garlic. We have this really crappy, I don't know, we find this at a garage sale garlic press. All it does is make a mess. No, don't bother.
No, I'm gonna try.
Okay, go ahead and try it. So we're gonna smash the garlic up, like so. And into the bowl.
Boule.
Into the bowl.
Boule. That's B-O-U-L-E.
Yeah, see, that's all it does. It just makes a mess. All right, it's going in the garbage. You know what?
Going round two.
I might put it away and see if we can use it later. No, we'll throw it out. All right, well, she works on that. We'll throw this away. So we decided to go old school on the garlic. I've tried pretty much every way you can to peel garlic, you know, the blade smash, the bang it in the bowl thing.
Boule.
And I still just like peeling it by hand. I know my fingers smell like garlic, but I like the smell of garlic in the morning. Smells like
victory.
What are you up to, Sarah? Huh? You want to fight? Huh? Yeah, it's garlic. Sorry. I'll go wash my hands and we can fight, okay? And now you'll smell like garlic. So we were all out of white onion, so I'm dicing up a red onion.
Dice.
Really best I can get that one. That's pretty big. And my son and wife sharpened this knife, so I'm proud. I only cut myself once so far, so that's good.
Is he okay?
And on the happier note, turned out that wasn't blood. That was just a red onion. So we're good.
A little bit of rosemary.
Nice. And there it goes. What else?
Maybe a little parsley.
Maybe just a little parsley.
A little parsley.
A little parsley. Couldn't hurt.
Got some thyme.
It's 10:30. Oh, you meant the spice.
Oh, we need an egg.
And an egg. Do we have any of those? Yes. It's a big egg from an overproducing chicken. There it goes. Cracked perfectly. Now a little, what'd you say?
Salt.
And?
Pepper.
Salt and pepper?
Push it real good. Oh, yeah.
Is that pepper?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never know until it starts pouring out of the back end there.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And now we mix. So my wife just said, I think we'll need a bigger boat.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Bowl. You never know what's in that bowl.
Boule.
Gonna need a bigger bowl.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Boule.
So now we're gonna roll them into the meatballs and put them on this parchment paper that was used to make this amazing bread last night. 1. Probably have to put this in fast motion. 2. 3. But that was a little larger. She's getting patient already.
It's 3 days later.
Looking good. And the last one. There we have
How
it.
many do we get?
And I have to do math.
Mm-hmm.
27.
Really?
3 nines.
Nice.
Now they're gonna cool their jets in the fridge. Okay, so we took the meatballs out of the fridge. We're heating up the iron skillet with some butter, getting ready to make everything. So now we're placing the meatballs gently in the heated pan. If you don't have chopsticks at your house, you need to get some. They're great for pretty much everything, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just about. And now we've got garlic, and we're ready to start making the sauce for our sweetest meatballs. What accent is that? So we got the noodles cooking in there, heating this up, and we got onion, garlic. Oh, the garlic's not in yet. And a little bit of flour. A mixy mix. More mixy mix. And a copious amount of pepper. And we mix. Now I'll add a little heavy whipped cream, or heavy whipping cream, however you like to say it. And apparently, I went a little zealous. We don't need these onions, but we might use it, well, definitely, we'll use it for something else. And then we got the beef broth, and the garlic is, the beef broth is going in now. Here it goes. Glad we were there for that moment. Yay! Sweet. And we use everything here. These are crushed up eggshells from our chickens, and you bake them, and then you crush them, and you feed them back to them, and they love it, and it helps in their egg production, supposedly. Now it's getting a really good look to it, and a good consistency. A few dashes of soy sauce in there.
Soy sauce. Soy sauce.
So this is an amazing salad. You can't even see the green stuff, but it's down there. And then we mixed everything and put it in a container because we're taking it over to a new father for Father's Day. And this looks like homemade salad dressing.
Extra sauce.
Extra sauce. Sweet. I like my extra sauce. Let's go. It's time for Ceiling Fan Man and Sarah. And kisses and tacos.
Here, remember? We had tacos.
So Sarah's getting into coin collecting. So this is what she's got so far. I let her use my old cigar box that I got since I was a kid. So, how's your collection, Sarah? You doing good? All right. What are you doing, kitty? Oh, you're eating. You feel like fighting? Maybe not. Later. Later. Black Panther. Where's my kitty? You want to fight? Come on. Come get me. Ah! Where are you? Where are you? Get out here. Come on. Are you a cat? Are you a Are you a panther?
I'm a Black Panther now.
There she is. Where's my kitty? Where's the Black Panther? She's ready to strike at any moment. She already got me once. Where is she? Ah, gotcha. All right, I got to go heal up. Till next time.
Bool.
Satellite tracking continues.
Okay, where am I? Where am I? There I am. And scene. What do you think? So that's what my little bit of spare time I have, I put those things together. So, but my wife does the heavy lifting. And yes, 16 Alpha, I saw your comments here. Yeah, I hear you. But guess what? Is it my fault? I mean, we're not supposed to take responsibility for anything we do, right? Going all the way back to Adam. Look what she made today. I was trying it while you're watching that, and you're saying that I'm getting bigger. This is a homemade scone with fig like jelly on the. It's insane. I want to eat it during the. I ate some of it, but yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to go. What is it? What do we do? Paleo. We gotta do one of those soon. Carnivore. I don't know, but for now, that thing's amazing. Wish I could share. But yeah, plus the camera, like I said, it adds 20 pounds. So, all right. Yeah, it's all delicious. It is. It's crazy. I don't know. God bless. Really, I am blessed. We're eating well, obviously, but we don't really find ourselves going out to dinner much anymore or any of that because as much as groceries have gone up, it's still less expensive to buy groceries and then cook a bunch of meals at home than going out. And in addition to that, either we're usually not happy with the food compared to what we could make, or I don't know, it's way more expensive. And the experience, unless you're for some reason you're going out on a specific night, I don't know. It used to be people go out almost every night, but I don't see that anymore. I don't know how people are doing it, but God's blessed me with a wife that knows how to cook. And so I'll just keep supplying raw material and she'll make me these freaking, it's crazy good. Sorry. Diet starts tomorrow. Okay. All right. Now I can't talk. But I think we're coming to close to the end of this anyway. So thank you, everyone that's here. Everyone's going to watch this later. All the people that have helped and support us and continue to do so. Really appreciate it. And thank you for coming here every Friday night and being able to talk like this and share a little bit of community and fellowship. And I'll keep doing it as long as not only God puts it in my heart to do it, but gives me the availability and the talent and so forth to do it. So let's plan on being back here next Friday, 6 p.m., sometimes a little late. I'll do my best not to be tardy, but I do appreciate you all. Continue to reach out to me, write me emails, write me snail mail, comment, like, share, and subscribe. All that helps. And once again, I have no words other than thank you so much. You're very wonderful. So please, Ward, let me try again. I'm eating this scone. Okay. Father in heaven, please continue to guide us through these times and watch over us. Give us the patience. Give us the joy. Let us feel it in our hearts. Let us go forward and be shining lights of examples for others that are hurting, for those that are sick, for those that are afraid or lost. Please, Lord, use us to help those people find the truth of the world. As we know it lies in your bosom, and we thank you, Jesus, for finding us and waking us up. And continue to guide us so we can help others see this and realize that it's not about religion. It's not about division. There's one truth in the world. There's one thing that they're trying to hide over everything else, and that's the existence of God. And please continue to help us in your fight to bring your works on earth and to continue them on until we bring every last person home. We want them all, Father. We want to save all their souls. And I thank you for giving me the blessing to do some of that work. And continue to shine in our lives and cover us with the comfort of the Holy Spirit that only you know how to take away the fears of the world, because there's so many right now. And it's nice to be able to feel that comfort in a world full of sadness and sorrow, to know that you have a plan and we're in it, and we thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. So there we go. Thank you again. Hope you all had a great time. And let's see. You get this, he says, with a knife in his leg. This one.
Class is dismissed.
So God willing, let's do this again. We'll see you back here next week, 6 o'clock. Check your local listings. And thanks again for coming here. Have a good night. God bless.
And the satellite.
500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Satellite transfer complete.